Hey Grammy, how you doing? If you can hear me or not. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, I remember you saying something that you weren't doing too good. So it's that time of year for being sick and just not doing well. A lot of drama having around in here. Ah, yeah, that's no good. Yeah, lots of drama in my life and a lot of friends that are having a lot of issues right now. A lot of seasonal disorders and a lot of relationship dramas and whatnot. And luckily, I've been avoiding most of that. Of course, and again, I try to avoid any possible form of drama whatsoever. What you think you got? You think you got a cold or just not feeling well? Man, I suppose I should do this before I do anything else, cause well, not that we really need that, but yeah. I've got uh, sister-in-law in Montana that has fibro really bad, real bad. And about the only thing that helps her is to because she's got a medical marijuana card. That's about the only thing that she's been able to find that doesn't really screw her up. So I've got a girlfriend in Cincinnati area that same way for her too. Just really screws her right up. And this is the time of year for it to happen because she's always running around trying to take care of things, and she's got I think like 10 siblings too, so she's always trying to run around and get things for them and their kids, and just kicks her butt. Pretty much don't hear anything from her for the whole at least half the month of December. It's a tough one. Well, let's pick a direction. No, I know that they're pretty serious because my stepbrother's wife, she can't function at all if she doesn't do something to deal with it. raving maniac. Yeah. But luckily, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to remember how to game. I just got another S-Class exotic, so I'm full up with them. Well, I've got a shuttle. I think it's a shuttle that is my pirate ship, because it's like 37 slots and it's nothing but weapons. You know what? I think we're just gonna mess around. That's a G3F. What's that? G4. Economy, no filter. There we go. That should be better. G7. What? 1,000? Really? You know, why is that? Alright, let's take a look at this. Okay, let me hit the right buttons. I've got an S-Class. I've got, well, I've only got one of the jump drives, and I can only go 992. Ah! Well, I suppose that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to look for the upgrades for the freighters, because it's an S-Class freighter, and I want all the jump drives. Suppose that's going to be the priority. Okay, now what are the... That would be the Corvax. Trying to remember all that. Okay, you have a good one too. I appreciate the like and all. Yep, get back to bed and try to recover. See if I can't possibly find the warp drives for the freighter. In the wrong system for that, but figured I should check and see what's here anyway. Eh, thumbs. My thumbs have quit working. Nope, nothing new there. Okay. So let's go see what we can find in a quarterback system. I'm standing here. And seeing as we've only got a 900 light year jump range, what do we got here? We've got 1200, so we're gonna do this. Evidently there's no point, excuse me, there's no point in trying to jump in the freighter when I've only got 900. Okay, life form. Corvax balanced. Corvax comfortable. Successful. Let's go there. I would think if you want to try to find a freighter upgrade, shipping economy might do it. Maybe. Hey Rick, how you doing? You actually play No Man's Sky? Forgive my screwing around and inability to maneuver. I've been away from No Man's Sky for quite a while. Got a new job and all that wonderful stuff. Hey, how's the music volume? Is that too loud for you guys? Seems a bit loud for me. But I don't know. No, it's Gek that I'm looking for, isn't it? Well, at least we got something. Yeah, I better ask one of these guys. Yeah, that's not so bad. Well, it's a Vakeen. Of course I'm going to draw my weapon. Yeah, whatever. Fly eye. Okay, so off to a Gek system. There is nothing for me here. Yeah, cool. Rick, your name sounds familiar. Are you somebody that's associated with the Geknip gang? And if not, that might be some a group that you might want to check out. A lot of the guys that I originally used to watch before I got No Man's Sky either were, or are still in the Geknip gang, and all of those people are pretty cool to interact with. Everybody has their different style of playing, and Geknip gang actually has their own channel, and what's really kind of cool is they circumvented the multiplayer, and they dual stream player versus player permadeath matches, and that's pretty neat. Granted, I play because I play come on. Oh. I play creative because, you know, I want to play after I get out of work, and I don't want to be hassled, and I don't want to be whooped on. I want to just enjoy it. Neat thing about it too is I can, you know, wander around and take a look at the way that they have things set up in regards to the economies and okay. That's who had subbed to me. Alright, that was you. Thank you. Must have been something over here. But yeah, if you really want to see some pretty cool stuff, that the G&G YouTube channel's pretty neat. There's a guy on there that that goes by the name of King Snake, and kind of southern drawl kind of guy, and man, is he amazing. He's hilarious too. He's just sounds super calm. But he's pretty good. I'm a creeper. Yeah, okay, gotcha. All right, yep, that's why your name sounded familiar. Yep, all real good people. Let's see. Well, let's go by the life form and just still see if we can find it. Nano construction. Why not? Yeah, Reaper's he's awesome. He's definitely got a good streaming style. Iceman, I've watched a couple times. He was in the I think he was in the cage matches. Then Pimpin, yep. Yeah, Pimpin was who the last cage match was Pimpin and King Snake. Just awesome. And that's the neat thing about those cage matches is it's actually pretty educational, seeing how other people handle the pirates and go about you know, dealing with things. Well, you can pretty much tell I'm a PC gamer trying to manhandle a console game. It just doesn't quite work. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yep. They're all fantastic. I don't know why or how the Geknip gang has gotten the people that it has, but I'm really happy with just about everybody that's in it. Why is it saying buy? I don't get it. Oh, I don't know. Probably that glitch that's being talked about right now. Evidently there is a glitch in the PS4 software, and it's corrupting the saves, so kind of hard to play. I ended up yeah, exactly. I still have yet to get my style. You know, personally, I think my style's pretty flippin' boring, but I'm gonna go over here and check that out. Just carbon and stuff. That's no fun. Problem is I was brought up as one of the kids that yeah. Actually, what's kind of fun is King Snake does some no HUD stuff, and he really puts him. I mean, he purposely puts himself in some really horrible situations, and you know, Moon. He was always King Snake was always watching Moon Machine as well, and you know, he got the urge to do it, or got the you know, the willingness to try it, and he's been doing that for quite a while. And it's funny because contrary to his cage match games, he does get pretty excited, and it's pretty funny. I think actually if he let loose like he does when you're, you know, when we chat over the game, it would be hilarious. He gets super excited and super stressed, and it's kind of fun. I think I'm going to go to this failing economy. Yep. Oh man, the stuff that I've seen Moon Machine do, the where he sets the filters to like the black and white one, to the monochrome. Hoy yi. I could never do that. I'd be dead in 5 minutes, if not less. Whoa. You know, I hope he comes back soon. I hope Moon comes back. Of course, I haven't really been watching a lot of streams lately. I've had many technology issues lately. My monitor broke after only having it 3 months. Just yet another example of not buying electronics from Walmart. Problem is there's not much here in town. So if I want to get anything, I have to go to the next really large city where they have real computer and electronic stores if I want to get something that I know is not modded or built to a price, I should say. We have a Best Buy, but they tend to really be pretty nasty in town here. The Unification Planet, what is that? Dare I ask? I'm not aware of that. Prospecting, chemical. Really wish they gave you a cursor and would allow you to pick the star yourself instead of having this stupid pipper fly around. Chemical effluent, fuel generation. Let's try fuel generation. Is there a freighter nearby in trouble? I don't know why they... Usually they put me right next to the space station. Yeah. Ah, okay. Is that on a Discord, or is there a place to find that the coordinates? Yeah. Assuming it'll be on Discord or something like that. Okay. I'll just search the Unification Planet. NMS Unification Planet and see what it has to say. Oh, jeez. Well, what should we do here? I wish I would have really paid attention to the previous page. Ah, okay. And I must already have that technology blueprint. I found a pretty neat trick. And to allow you to jump galaxies if you're interested, what I tend to do is to the first glyph once and the 16th glyph for all the rest of them. And what that does is it gets you within like 5,000 light years, if not a little bit less, to the center. But it also utilizes random locations near the center so that you're not stuck trying to utilize a planet and do the actual jump with a base that's been claimed and or location that only has like one planet. You can just go back through, reset the gate, go back through, and easily get through without too much trouble, because there's been a lot of people that are posting portal locations and that kind of thing, but the problem is when they went through, they claimed the only base on the planet or something along that line. So, you know, even though you've got a portal location and all that stuff, you can't utilize it to jump through and continue on your journey. So I kind of like that little trick. Well, let's go a little further out. Actually, what I want to do is I want to find some exotic planets. I want to see if there's any changes since I played last. Yeah, I got a new job and a lot of drama in my life, and my car was about to fall into two pieces, so I had to go buy a new vehicle. Just after I bought the new vehicle, the monitor, that's when that broke, and then I borrowed a monitor, and then my charger for my one computer decided it wanted to take a poo on me. So that was no fun. Forsaken Moon, what was that one? Isotopic planet. Let's go to the Forsaken Moon. Yeah, I was driving my car to the dealer to pick up the new vehicle, and on the way there, parts of the frame were falling off of it. So I think I got all my money's worth that I could possibly get out of that one. Definitely was about time. Low sentinels. Well, that means that there's not going to be anything awesome here. Darn. Yeah, well. You know what? I suppose I should check the space station anyway. Yeah. Yep, I hear ya. I'd like to be in the position to be able to build a decent PC, but what I spent on my truck's probably going to be about what I would want to spend on the PC. I don't necessarily need the best of the best, but I would like to be one step below, you know, right at the cutting edge, but not quite, because it's just too much money can be spent on some of that stuff. But the one thing I've learned is that you don't want to really scrimp too badly on the video card, and you want to pretty much max out your RAM processor, and you know, you get the ones that are the highest reasonably priced ones. You don't have to go too wacko crazy on processors, because the new video cards really do most of the work now. Really, you know. There's a computer chain around here called Micro Center, and pretty much I think I'm going to stick with those guys, because they're like a kind of like a brick and mortar Newegg sort of thing. They really really do pretty well when you go there. I ended up picking up a pair of Sennheiser headset. No, definitely. Every time I try to buy electronics at Wally World, I get burned, and I kick myself in the butt for doing it, because you know they harp on their suppliers and try to get them to come down on price by putting cheaper components in it, and it's burned me a number of times. Problem is they push everybody else out. Any of the small mom and pop places that really were worth a darn are completely gone in this town. We had some pretty big names in the area too, and nope. They just pulled out because everybody wants to save that buck now instead of saving the buck later. Because by the time you send stuff in and pay for all the shipping, you're pretty much at the same price you would have paid for a reliable component. In one of my past lives, I worked for an auto supplier, and the problem is it isn't necessarily the distributor's issue. Motorola had decided they wanted to change some stuff on some diodes that we were using in one of the components that I was involved in, and never told us what they did. And all of a sudden we started getting all kinds of failures. And come to find out, they changed part of the quality of the components, or quality of the silicon in these diodes, and everything started failing. And when it comes down to the fact that we were dealing with power steering systems and they were failing, that was not such a good thing. Of course, it's just prototypes. It wasn't actual production things, but boy, did we had to get on their case about that, because not cool. Very not cool. I mean, you still have a mechanical connection and everything like that, but you can't really expect a little grandma to be able to manhandle a vehicle around if she needs to. Not, but then again, vehicles are much smaller than they used to be, but still. Nearly everything's disposable now, you know, it seems. So nobody builds wants to build a reputation. They want to build a sale. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to resort to doing some missions to get those other freighter warp drives. Huh. That's a good question. 16, point to the dagger or point to the monolith? I don't know. What do you think? What would you select? I would probably say 16, but that's just me. Any other suggestions? Yeah, yep, definitely all quantity. I have a 1974 Jeep J10 that I brought back from Montana. The frame and all the hardware underneath it have not been affected by the uh, Great Lakes salt that they throw on the roads. And unfortunately, the wiring harness burned in it and took out the top of the engine and melted the dash. And hey, Aunt had but I've been trying to basically almost give the thing away for somebody that would try to restore it, you know. Well, dagger it is. Oh, I'm just trying to mess around and see if my headset actually works. Okay. Evidently, I can be heard, so that's a good thing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I ended up picking up a set of Sennheiser Game Zero headset from Micro Center. I think you're down south of me, and you should be aware of Micro Center. But they're normally like they're ridiculous normal price. They're like close to $300 or something like that. But they had them on sale for like 170. Uh, uh, yeah, and I couldn't resist because I've okay, good. Uh, uh, I used to own a pair of Sennheiser HD 650 headset, and that headset was amazing. I think its frequency response was like 8 hertz to 40 kilohertz or something ridiculous. But it was so flippin' clear. Just absolutely amazing. I would expect you to be complaining if there was an issue for sure. Yeah, I really didn't mess with the mix compared to what I had set up before for the old headset. I didn't really want to mess with it too much. I did turn the music up just a little tiny bit though. I didn't change the microphone settings or anything. Thumbs. Come on, thumbs. God, I'm not having any luck finding the freighter warps. Okay. Yeah. Let's detach the silicate antenna. A synthetic geek. Okay. Alright, have a good one, Rick. Merry Christmas, too. Hopefully you have a good holiday. Oh, this is great. Fire a warning shot. Definitely. Yeah, hilarious. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I've seen him in hats. Yep. Synthetic geek. Or GAC, sorry. Synthetic geek. Oh. Only a matter of time, though. Only a matter of time. Hey, driving like my sister. Sorry. Yeah, they've changed the deck a little bit since last time I played. You know, there are the freighter warp reactor Sigmas, but I got enough. I already got one of them, so I don't really need that. Ah. Well, you got to understand, she was in uh, 5 car accidents before she turned 19. So, you know, none of the accidents technically were her fault, but I think she should have been probably a little bit more she should have been more aware of her surroundings, and she probably could have avoided most of them. 2 were definitely not her fault, though. She was driving down a country road, and one of her classmates, who was known to have mental issues, ran out in front of her. And then another time, she and her boyfriend at the time were in a parking lot, and somebody hit them in the parking lot. So those you can't exactly yeah, can't exactly blame her for that, but you know. Yep. What do you think about that last storm we had? Not the one that we're going to call what we're getting now really a storm, but it's not pleasant out there right now. I was looking at the weather updates for where I used to live in Montana, and the one of the mountain passes north of where I lived, in the last 2 days, they've gotten in Montana or Michigan. Yeah, that last storm about a week and a half ago in Michigan. That was pretty interesting. Not too horrible, but you know, I think we got 7 inches of snow here. But yeah, that storm in the there's a mountain pass called Marias Pass up towards Glacier National Park, and I think they said they were expecting in a 24-hour time period to get 50 inches of snow. That's a little much. Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, lake effect, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what the uh, storms are like out there. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, it was pretty nice earlier. A little icy out right now. Bike as in motorcycle or bike as in bicycle? I've got a uh, Kawasaki KLX 650, not the KLR, but the KLX, which was a little bit more of a hardcore uh, enduro than the KLR. Of course, the KLR is pretty hardcore, but KLX was only made for a couple years. But I'll occasionally ride that into the nasty weather. I think things got better grip than my boots. And a couple times where I stopped at an intersection and nearly fell over because my boots slipped on the road surface. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah, that's the same sort of situation that they get at my stepbrother's house. Just nuts. Oh, okay. Sniff the gack. No, I'm actually in Michigan. I'm in the Tri-City area. True. I'm up in the Midland Bay, Saginaw area. Yay! We got cat. Sweet. That's definitely better. From 900 to 2195. Much better. Yeah, you're not really missing much in Saginaw. Really not much here. All the industry has gone away. Only thing in Midland is Dow Chemical. Oh yeah, my dad used to live in Coquitlam, right in or Linwood, in the right on the bay. But the only thing about that is that you had to go out practically a mile to get deep enough to actually swim. And then the water levels have definitely had gone pretty low. So when my dad first moved in there, there was a break wall, and yeah, it really is. My sister lives up right near Lake Superior in Copper Harbor area, and that's pretty neat. Really cold though, but that's where my brother-in-law grew up. Yeah, yep, along the there's an area, God, where was that? Not Montague or Whitehall. Um, Maybe it was Whitehall. But place was called Pigeon Hill Resorts, and it was one of the ones that in an area where there was the high sandbank uh, dune areas. That was awesome. Yep. Yeah, there's a place well, relatively close to my sister's that's called Agate Beach, and supposed to be pretty cool. I've never been able to get up there in the summertime to be able to check it out because most of my vacation time that I've had available was during Christmas. Because I mean, driving from here to her house is like 8 hours. It's just ridiculous. A lot of people don't understand that Michigan is that big. Medical sustainable, compromising. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I knew what you're talking about when you said GH. Research or energy supply. Oh. Saugatuck's kind of neat. Holland is pretty cool. I haven't seen much of it really, but People talk about it as being pretty cool. Driven through it a few times. Yeah, when I was a little kid, we used to go to that area. Um, then the reason that I mentioned at Pigeon Hill Resorts is that was kind of a neat old motel place, and built like in the 50s, and they really couldn't keep it up completely, but it was kind of neat because it was just had kind of a taste or a bit of history, you know, about it. But unfortunately, people had bought it and let it, you know, ran it down, and you know, all the locals are up in arms because they're talking about trying to sell it to a developer, and of course they don't want any big developer to come in there to raise taxes too much, which is understandable. But you know, there really wasn't much else going on in the area. What I've always wanted to do is to, when my dad lived in Linwood, I always wanted to, you know, get up before the sun and go hang out on the beach, and then drive across the state and you know, catch the sunset with a bonfire on the in the area where that Pigeon Hill is. It's the high banks, and you got a little bit of a shoreline, and have a bonfire on that shoreline would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. One of my bosses, when he was younger, he worked on the island. Almost dropped my controller. Well, give me just a second. I'm gonna roll up a cigarette real quick. And I'd actually had a couple of friends that lived in St. Ignace too, and you know, I don't know if I could handle the island in the winter. Of course, it'd be pretty nice actually, probably. You don't have to worry about traffic noise. Speaking of noise, it's one thing that really frustrates me about No Man's Sky is not being able to control the freighter warp noises. You would think that it would be part of the um, special effects volumes, but it's not. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've lived all over the U.S. or traveled all over the U.S., and the places that I like are uh, western Montana, Michigan, and uh, in Washington State in the on the Olympic Peninsula, some of those areas are just unbelievable. Just amazingly beautiful. Yay! Okay. 2855. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Western Montana is unflippin' believable. And the problem is that you really, you got to get in with the locals and find out where they go, because there's some hidden places that are just unbelievable. Um, one of the places that I used to go to a lot was an old Indian Vision Quest site, and it had a water, river coming down, and a waterfall, and the water came down and hit this conical based rock, and then turned around it, or turned to the right. But that conical rock was balanced on its point, and the whole rock itself was probably the size of, oh, half a school bus long and half a school bus wide. And it was at just a real low resonant frequency, and it was just unbelievable. And I flew one of my gal friends out there, and we wandered around a lot. But I took her to that place, sat her down on that rock, and just kind of meandered off a ways. I still had to keep an eye on her because there were mountain lions around that area. But I came back and she was just, literally crying tears of joy, because it was just pretty, pretty flippin' awesome. You could totally understand why they consider that to be a Vision Quest site, because it was just, the energy in that place was just unreal. Yep. I was there one time when there was a grandma and her kid, or a grandkid, and the kid was running around being a little maniac, and I looked up at the top of the waterfall, and I saw this shadow kind of leap across the top of that waterfall. It was fairly narrow at the very top of it, and walked up there, and here's mountain lion prints in the mud on both sides of that. I'm like, oh, youngster better be listening to grandma, because Darwinian selection sure does exist out in Montana. You can't screw up. Yep. You're going to have a problem if you don't have your eyes open. There was one time that I went hiking, and I ended up having I ended up sliding down the mountain a little bit, and I had my backpack way too tight, to the point where when I fell, I landed the wrong way, and it torqued my back and screwed me up, and I actually ended up getting very, very mild internal injuries, but I didn't know how mild, so I ended up having to walk off the mountain, and on the back side, because we had gotten dropped off on the one side, and the trail that I was hiking was mountain lion territory, and they were not happy that I was walking through there. I mean, they were like every 30 yards or so there was fresh poo, and they were, definitely letting me know that I was in their space. Well, seeing as I don't need that to be looking for stuff. Let's go find some place. Yeah, and I've been hiking through areas where grizzly bears and all that stuff. And remember one time me and my stepbrother went out and yeah, exactly. The DNR is absolutely useless. Their mentality is deny everything. Same thing out in Montana. That within the like 2 miles of the house out there, there is a grizzly bear den, and and you know, instead of warning people, hey, there's a mother grizzly, you don't want to go near this area, they denied it, denied it, denied it, denied it. And finally, my stepbrother confronted them one time, and you know, they were like trying to shush him up, and he's like, "Look, you idiots, why do you think we have all these maulings? You know, because you're not warning people. Okay, yeah, there's a few idiots that might go trying to mess with the grizzly, but they won't last long. You know, it's the mothers and kids and stuff that want to go for a little walk and hike, and it's fairly close to the urban area. Well, you know, yeah, they don't want people, you know, taunting the animals, but they gotta know before they get themselves into trouble because they're completely unaware that they need to be alert. You know, the people that'll taunt animals and mess with them, you know, let them have at it. It's their own darn fault if they do something stupid. But it's the people that are blissfully unaware because they think that it's a, you know, it's a state park and it's nice, and you know, there's no possible issues with you know, there's no issues with anything. There we go. That's what we wanted. You know, and they don't realize that there's predators around there. Yeah, you know, in the area that I've got property at, there's been elks. I've seen elk there, and the DNR will deny that too. You know, this is before they really started you know, spreading out, but they don't. You know, they never really understood that elk will run 40 miles a day if they feel the need. They're not like deer. They won't just kind of, you know, find a spot and stick there. They'll move. Yeah, it's the last thing we need is people going wanting to pet black bears. But like you say, Darwinian selection, you know, unfortunately it's going to take a couple maulings for people to really be curious enough to pressure the DNR into letting them know what's really happening. Personally, I would rather have a somebody that's going to taunt bears go out and get killed than a family, you know, because that's the problem. You don't let people know somebody's going to be completely oblivious. Low atmosphere planet. Noxious planet. Yeah. Yep. Well, it's easy pickings for them, you know. Gardens and stuff. That's one of the things that we have to do up at the camp, is that we end up um, buying a bunch of hay and cutting down some cedar trees for the winter, you know, so that they've got something to munch on. Because as soon as the farm fields are harvested, they've got, you know, very little to eat. You know, we don't want to put out corn or anything for them, because that tends to cause the spread of disease and stuff like that. But hay, you know, spread out all over the place, kind of keeps them separated a little bit. But yep. Okay. All right. Let's go see if we got any other cool planets. Oh, hiccups. No, that's not what we wanted. We wanted that. Okay. 2 planets. Noxious one. Wrong button. Yeah, deer will thrive really well. Coyotes as well. Foxes. I mean, it's much easier for them to get food around where humans live than it does in nature, you know. Oh yeah, yeah. Deer are a lot smarter than people think. They pay attention. They're not on par with elk though. Elk are a whole different class of brain power. Some of the stuff that I've seen elk do it's just unbelievable. They're very smart. Yep. Yep, just had some the other day. 96 units. That's not worth much anymore. Yeah, there's a I've got property that we hunt on and all that stuff, and one of the guys is from South Africa, and he's in a his family's got a ranch in South Africa, and he'll take the liver and the kidneys and the heart, and he actually minces it all, and there's a membrane around the stomach that's kind of like a little bit of a fatty membrane, but it's not, it's not disgusting. And he takes that and he wraps that stuff after he pan fries it lightly, wraps it up in that lining, and then rolls it all up kind of like a sausage a little bit, then refries it, and that was absolutely amazing. Way better than I thought it would be. I was actually impressed, and I'm not the kind of person really that a lot of times that would really appreciate that, but it was good. Yeah, exactly, deer haggis, yeah, but not actually in the stomach, but like I say, just that little bit of a fatty membrane that surrounds the stomach. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was really, really good. Didn't need any spice or anything at all. It was pretty amazing. Ah, okay, good. Yeah, yeah. I've been really delving into the Indian cuisine a lot. My mom, when I was young, my parents got a divorce, and if I wanted to eat, I had to be the cook. So my mom educated me and gave me the chef gene a little bit. What is it? What is it? Balanced. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could handle that. Probably tastes like crap. Had to say it, sorry. Could not resist. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is creative. Actually, kind of chill. Not a whole lot happening. Occasionally, you get. Well, I switch back and forth between some things. On the if you're on a console, the left side directional gives you the ability to change some of the options or change some of the coloration because you got the you've got the economy scanner and the conflict scanner. Oh, okay. Well, how does it look different to you then? The colors and all that stuff, or? Yeah, exactly, Anthead. Well, we've been conditioned to have the best cuts of meat, supposedly the best, but you know, that's part of the reason why the people from the South and in the past and the slave areas, some of that the food like the Cajun food is just unbelievable because they learn how to learn how to cook the bad stuff the best, and most of the time it's time that makes it good. Being impatient has gotten us the food that we've got. Oh yeah, for sure. The colors, JB. Give me just a second, and I'll show you what you're getting. Yeah, exactly. With what Melissa was saying, you've got the ability to pretty much get what you need. No, I'm on console as well. Hmm. Well, I haven't done anything different. I don't think I really can change the broadcast settings in regards to coloration. Let me scroll through the options on the star chart or the star map. Okay, so if you go up and down, you change the economy and life form and all that stuff in the conflict. And left and right gives you missions, atlas stations, black holes, custom waypoints. Now in creative, I don't have the ability to find black holes and atlas stations and all that stuff. So there's a possibility that the colors change because of that compared to what you see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Anthead. That's why most of the time that people who are used to eating high on the hog, they go down to the South and have Cajun food, and it just blows their mind because most of the time it was it is properly cooked. You know, it's all day cooking, and that's why slow cookers. Yep, yep, yep. That was the up and down and left and right on the left-hand side. You can change, like I say, you can change to conflict if you want to try to find a warring area, economy. The reason that I play around with that is, ooh, battle. We gotta go taunt them. Okay, and we go over here. But I use the economy scanner because I like to try to find the S-class exotic ships. You know what I had that blew my mind was I had raccoon tacos, of all things. It was better than regular tacos, man. Oh, come on. Come on, thumbs. There we go. Absolutely impressive. Everybody's like, man, those are raccoon tacos. I'm like, it's a shame to waste if you're gonna hunt an animal. To me, it's sacrilege that you don't eat it, or you don't at least do something suitable with it. That why would you shoot the thing anyway? If you're not gonna do something with it. So, but I was. Yeah, I was at a wild game dinner for a fundraiser. It was actually pretty impressive. Way better than I thought it would be. I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, it's kind of tricky though with the feeding vegetarians, vegetarian animals, parts of other animals. You get that whole mad cow disease thing going on, or CJD, or wasting disease. That's going to be the next big problem because I got friends that are conservationists, and they're saying that they're seeing a whole lot of wasting disease in deer now. Yeah. And bugs and stuff too, yep, for sure. Worms and whatnot. Flipping chickens around here. We got some strays, and oops, and they keep coming over eating cat food. Not like I really need to get a glyph, but well, I've been streaming for about 2 hours. I think I'm gonna call it quits so I can go grab some food. Because I'm getting kinda hungry. All I've had today was cheese bread. But I should be back sometime soon. Like tomorrow perhaps, I'm not really sure. My dad had knee surgery, so I got to go and do all the grocery shopping and everything for him because he can't drive, so I don't know what all tomorrow's going to entail. And Saturday, I probably got to go take him shopping so he can actually get some stuff for my stepmom because he hasn't had the ability to go do his Christmas shopping yet. So I don't know how it's all going to play out this weekend. Just going to kind of play it by ear and do my thing. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you, JB. The reason that I go through the and do the searching through the with the economy scanner, if you look and you find a blue system, look for a high-tech GAC and look for something that's on the order of comfortable or wealthy or opulent. generally you'll find a fairly decent S-class exotic in those systems. Um, I'll land, I'll just follow those trade lines down that you see go to a planet, and I'll get to a trade station or trade location and just sit there for a while. Might take a while, but there will be one that shows up sooner or later. But that's you know usually how I get it. And if you can tell by the ships that I've got, there's you can find some good stuff. You got the ha nice, yeah, high tech gag. Yeah, I just picked that one up today. But yeah, yep, high tech GEC system. You're generally going to find a S-class exotic there, as long as it's a. I mean, you could find them around other places. Don't get me wrong, but that's generally where I pretty much can guarantee that I'll find one. So, no, no, that one's white. On my other save, I've got like 3 blue ones. I got a squid ship that's blue, or is it red? I don't know, but the ship is one color, and the colors on the tentacle thingies gradually fade to another color. Pretty cool. So, but anyhow, I think I'm going to call it a night. If I can get some food in my belly. Quick save. So you all have a good evening, and talk to you again sometime.